Thank you, Senator Casey. Thank you, Chairman Carper. And thank you, Tiernan and Jean and the LCV and Climate Power. It is great to be with you. You've heard a range of senators speak today about the urgency of acting to address climate change. I led a delegation that recently was part of the COP26 conversations in Glasgow. And one of the most important things we heard from around the world is that the United States needs to show commitment, capacity, engagement in our work to combat climate. And one of the most important things we can do in the coming days is to pass the Build Back Better legislation. It's got a lot of other parts that will help middle-class American families afford prescription drugs and daycare and childcare that'll help them deal with the costs that impact their lives. But there's $555 billion of investments in combating climate that are essential parts of the Build Back Better legislation. I'm just going to talk for a moment about one piece that I've worked hard on and that I deeply value, the Civilian Climate Corps. When another Delawarean, Joe Biden, former senator, former vice president, began his run for the presidency, we talked about the importance of citizen service, of grassroots engagement all across our country to be a part of conservation, resiliency, and combating climate change. There's already well-established, effective and operating conservation corps in dozens of states and communities across our country. So the Civilian Climate Corps, a $30 billion component of the Build Back Better bill, will be building on that great, broad, and diverse and deep bedrock of experience all over our country, making a lasting difference. Senator Carper and I come from the lowest mean elevation state in America, and we are here in what is notionally called the Senate Swamp. Sadly, our home state, as the sea level is rising and as the ground that our state is on is subsiding, we are seeing the consequences, the impact of climate change. Just recently, a low-income community in a part of Wilmington was devastated by a flood in an area that hadn't flooded before. And we are seeing in states across our country, whether it's Florida or Louisiana, whether it's Delaware or it's California, the impact of climate, both in terms of wildfires and in sea level rise, in hurricanes and in tornadoes. As my friend Senator Sheldon Whitehouse likes to say, it's not just global warming, it's climate weirdness. It's the weather getting stranger and having a deeper and a broader and a more destructive impact. One of the ways we can invest proactively in resiliency is through standing up a strong civilian climate corps that's going to put young Americans to work, give them an opportunity to earn a college education, give them the experience of working as part of a corps, and put them at the front lines of combating climate change. Our work isn't done yet. I'm still optimistic we will add a polluter fee to the Build Back Better legislation here in the Senate, something that will both generate needed revenue and allow us to lock arms with our allies, close countries like the EU, the United Kingdom, and Canada in showing our climate ambition and in imposing greater costs on the imports from competitor countries that are still manufacturing things like iron and steel in a very carbon-intensive way. But whatever the final shape of the bill ends up being here in the Senate, the most important thing is that we take it up and we pass it. It'll be the single greatest investment in generations in combating climate change, in investing in new technologies, in deploying those technologies all over our country, and in showing the rest of the world that the United States is serious about leadership in bold climate action. So Tiernan, I'm excited to work with you, with Climate Action, with LCV in getting this job done. Thank you.